Welcome back, warrior. We are highlighting the Book of Mormon, another testament of Jesus Christ, Jacob chapter 5. Okay, so Jacob chapter 5 is a really long chapter because we are talking about the allegory, in the vineyard. And so we're going to be highlighting the mentions of Jesus Christ and Heavenly Father, the adversary's tactics, verses when Christ is mentioned. We highlight the whole thing, and then the Holy Ghost. And this is what it looks like so far. And here we go. Oh yes, see the allegory of the tame and wild olive trees. Okay, Jacob quotes Zenos relative to the allegory of the tame and wild olive trees. They are a likeness of Israel and the Gentiles, the scattering and gathering. The scattering and gathering of Israel are prefigured. Allusions are made to the Nephites and Lamanites and all the house of Israel. The Gentiles will be grafted into Israel. Eventually, the vineyard will be burned. About 544 to 421 BC. Okay. Here we go. Oh, and before we start, this is our shielded stillness prompt. It says, where are you asking me to show up with more courage? That is good. And more courage, probably. I feel like I already know the answer to that question. Okay, behold, my brethren, do ye not remember to have read the words of the prophet Zenos, which he spake unto the house of Israel, saying, Hearken, O ye house of Israel, and hear the words of me, a prophet of the Lord. For behold, thus saith the Lord, I will liken thee, O house of Israel, like unto a tame olive tree, which a man took and nourished in his vineyard, and it grew and waxed old and began to decay. And it came to pass that the master of the vineyard went forth, and he saw his olive tree began to decay, and he said, I will prune it and dig about it and nourish it, that perhaps it may shoot forth young and tender branches, and it perish not. And it came to pass that he pruned it and digged about it and nourished it according to his word. And it came to pass that after many days it began to put forth somewhat a little young and tender branches. But behold, the main top thereof began to perish. And it came to pass that the master of the vineyard saw it, and he said unto his servant, It grieveth me that I should lose this tree. Wherefore go and pluck the branches from a wild olive tree, and bring them hither unto me, and we will pluck off those main branches which are beginning to wither away, and we will cast them into the fire, that they may be burned. And behold, saith the Lord of the vineyard. I'm going to highlight Lord of the vineyard. I take away many of these young and tender branches, and I will graft them whithersoever I will. It mattereth not that if it be so, that the roots of the tree will perish, I may preserve the fruit thereof unto myself. And wherefore I will take these young and tender branches, and I will graft them whithersoever I will. Take thou the branches of the wild olive tree, and graft them in the stead thereof. And these which I have plucked off I will cast into the fire, and burn them, and they may not cumber the ground of my vineyard. And it came to pass that the servant of the Lord of the vineyard did according to the word of the Lord of the vineyard, and grafted in the branches of the wild olive tree. And the Lord of the vineyard caused that it should be digged about, and pruned, and nourished, saying unto his servant, It grieveth me that I should lose this tree. Wherefore, that perhaps I might preserve the roots thereof, that they perish not, that I might preserve them unto myself. I have done this thing. Wherefore, go thy way, watch the tree, and nourish it according to my words. Wherefore, and these will I place in the nethermost part of my vineyard, whithersoever I will, it mattereth not unto thee. And I do it, that I may preserve unto myself the natural branches of the tree, and also that I may lay up fruit thereof against the season unto myself. For it grieveth me that I should lose this tree and the fruit thereof. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard went his way, and hid the natural branches of the tame olive tree in the nethermost parts of the vineyard, and some in one and some in another, according to his will and pleasure. And it came to pass that a long time passed away, and the Lord of the vineyard said unto his servant, Come, let us go down into the vineyard, that we may labor in the vineyard. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard and also the servant went down into the vineyard to labor. And it came to pass that the servant said unto his master, Behold, look here, behold the tree. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard looked and beheld the tree in which the wild olive branches had been grafted, and it had sprung forth and began to bear fruit. And he beheld that it was good, and the fruit thereof was like unto the natural fruit. And he said unto the servant, Behold, the branches of the wild tree have taken hold of the moisture of the root thereof, that the root thereof had brought forth much strength, and because of the much strength of the root thereof, the wild branches have brought forth tame fruit. Now if we had not grafted in these branches, the tree thereof would have perished. And now, behold, I shall lay up much fruit, which the tree thereof hath brought forth, and which the tree thereof hath brought forth, and the fruit thereof I shall lay up against the season unto mine own self. So wiggly. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard said unto the servant, Come, let us go to the nethermost part of the vineyard. And behold, in the natural branches of the tree have not brought forth much. If the natural branches of the tree have not brought forth much fruit, also that I may lay up the fruit thereof against the season unto mine own self. And it came to pass that they went forth whither the master. Here's what I don't understand. It should not pause my reading when I have a phone call, especially from spammers. Okay, so now I don't know where I left off, so I'm going to start in 21 just in case. And it came to pass that the servant said unto his master, How comest thou hither to plant this tree, or this branch of the tree? For behold, it was the poorest spot in all the land of the vineyard. And the Lord of the vineyard said unto him, Counsel me not. I knew that it was a poor spot of ground. Wherefore I said unto thee, I have nourished it this long time, and thou beholdest that it hath brought forth much fruit. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard said unto his servant, Look hither, and behold, I have planted another branch of the tree also, and thou knowest that this spot of ground was poorer than the first. But behold, the tree, I have nourished it this long time, and it hath brought forth much fruit. Therefore gather it and lay it up against the season, that I may preserve it unto mine own self. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard said again unto his servant, Look hither, and behold another branch also, which I have planted. Behold, that I have nourished it also, and it hath brought forth fruit. And he said unto the servant, Look hither, and behold the last. Behold, this have I planted in a good spot of ground, and I have nourished it this long time, and only a part of the tree hath brought forth tame fruit, and the other part of the tree hath brought forth wild fruit. Behold, I have nourished this tree like unto the others. Okay, so now we're going to zoom out. We're going to highlight those verses that mention the Lord in blue. Also, I should probably close these, and it's getting sleepy because I'm not walking. Let's hope we can stay awake. Okay, I really like this allegory for a variety of reasons. There's so many lessons that we can learn here. One of which is if you cut me down, I can still grow, because the Lord of the vineyard is wiser and he knows things we don't know. So then there's that. But then there's also sometimes we need to experience the opposition in all things. Like sometimes we need to have wild fruit. mixed with not wild fruit, with natural fruit, to help us appreciate that wild fruit. When I lived in Florida, I was raised there, and it was really hard. But you know what? I think going to school here in Utah is harder. I was the only member in my whole school. However, I didn't really have like bad examples because I was the only person in my whole school. So it was like up to me to get more members, right? Um, and here in Utah, it's harder because you have those who are strong in the faith and then those who are not. And then you have bad examples because then you have, people that you go to church with and you see them on their regular day to day, and then you wonder about things in their life, which, it's fine. Everyone needs to grow in their own way, but it is harder, I think, for members to be raised where other members are being are not necessarily holding the same values, even though you might see them at church. And so that would be hard. I don't know what it would be like in school, but I can kind of get an idea because of how some people that I know are, and social media too, helps us see people sometimes as they really are, and you're like, oh, okay. Okay, here we are. Okay, we're on verse 26. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard said unto the servant, pluck off the branches that have not brought forth good fruit, and cast them into the fire. But behold, the servant said unto him, let us prune it, and dig about it, and nourish it a little longer, that perhaps it may bring forth good fruit unto thee, that thou canst lay it up against the season. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard and the servant of the Lord of the vineyard did nourish all the fruit of the vineyard. And it came to pass that a long time did pass away, and the Lord of the vineyard said unto his servant, come, let us go down into the vineyard, that we may labor again in the vineyard. For behold, the time draweth near, and the end soon cometh. Wherefore I must lay up fruit against the season unto mine own self. Okay, and I want to apologize for my nails. They are growing out a ton. However, I also want to let you know, don't let my nails distract you from reading your scriptures. Don't let my nails distract me from reading my scriptures. Because you know that it takes time to go do that. And some of us just don't feel like we have that time. Okay. Anyways, verse 30, now that we're on more serious subject. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard and the servant went down into the vineyard, and they came to the tree whose natural branches had been broken off, and the wild branches had been grafted in. And behold, all sorts of fruit did cumber the tree. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard did taste of the fruit, every sort according to its number. And the Lord of the vineyard said, behold, this long time have we nourished this tree, and I have laid up unto myself against the season much fruit. But behold, this time it hath brought forth much fruit, and there is none of it which is good. And behold, there are all kinds of bad fruit, and it profiteth me nothing, notwithstanding all our labor. And now it grieveth me that I should lose this tree. Okay, so we're going to highlight in blue. Okay, so we brought forth a lot of fruit, but it's not any good, right? It just kind of reminds me of like content on social media. There is a lot of content, but that doesn't mean that all of it is good or worth consuming, I get distracted pretty easily, and with this ADHD that I have. And so it's really frustrating sometimes when I'm like, oh, I just wasted my time doing this, And then I'm like, okay, let's focus back onto our list and keep going. So sometimes that happens. But let's just repent and move forward, right? That's what the Lord would want us to do. And so that's what we do. Okay. So now I'll keep highlighting over here. Sorry, it's very shaky cam. Okay, and the Lord of the vineyard said unto the servant, what shall we do unto the tree that I may preserve again good fruit thereof unto mine own self? I don't know. That's the question at hand, right? But I love that the Lord is asking the servant, like, what to do so that the servant can learn. Oh, excuse me. Because the Lord probably does know, because he's owned this vineyard for a while. But he's trying to ask the servant. Maybe the servant can tap into some of his knowledge, and then it would help the servant understand what needs to happen, right? And the servant said unto the master, behold, because thou didst graft in the branches of the wild olive tree, they have nourished the roots, that they are alive, and they have not perished. Wherefore thou beholdest that they are yet good. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard said unto his servant, the tree profiteth me nothing, and the roots thereof profit me nothing, so long as it shall bring forth evil fruit. Right? It doesn't matter if the fruit comes because it's not good to eat. So nevertheless, I know that the roots are good, and for mine own purpose I have preserved them, and because of their much strength they have hitherto brought forth fruit from the wild branches, good fruit. But behold, the wild branches have grown and have overrun the roots thereof, and because that the wild branches have overcome the roots thereof, it hath brought forth much evil fruit. And because that it hath brought forth so much evil fruit, thou beholdest that it beginneth to perish, and it will soon become ripened, that it may be cast into the fire, except we should do something for it to preserve it. Okay, so this kind of helps me understand a little bit something with our friends. The 5 people we surround ourselves with will influence the person that we become. And so I feel like surrounding myself with children sometimes keeps me childlike in a good way, and then sometimes not in a good way, but it's still worth it, right? But that's why we need to surround ourselves with like good books, good podcasts, good things that we watch to help us become the person that we want to become. Coaches, whoever, whatever you need to help us. Because, yeah, when we surround ourselves with just junk or the trash online, it's going to corrupt the person that we are trying to become. Okay, so then he says, and it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard said unto his servant, let us go down into the nethermost parts of the vineyard, and behold, if the natural branches have also brought forth evil fruit. And it came to pass that they went down into the nethermost parts of the vineyard, and it came to pass that they beheld that the fruit of the natural branches had become corrupt also. Yea, the first and the second and also the last, and they had all become corrupt. See, so that's sad. And the wild fruit of the last had overcome that part of the tree which brought forth good fruit, even that the branch had withered away and died. See, so let's surround ourselves with good, uplifting, nourishing things so that we can have the good fruit overrun the wild and not vice versa. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard wept and said unto the servant, what could I have done more for my vineyard? Behold, I knew that all the fruit of the vineyard, save it were these, had become corrupted, and now these which have once brought forth good fruit have also become corrupted. And now all the trees in my vineyard are good for nothing, save it be to be hewn down and cast into the fire. So now it's like all his work is for nothing, right? And behold, this last whose branch hath withered away, excuse me, I did plant in a good spot of ground, yea, even that which was choice unto me above all other parts of the land of my vineyard. And thou beheldest that I also cut down that which cumbereth this spot of ground, that I might plant this tree in the stead thereof. And thou beheldest that a part thereof brought forth good fruit, and a part thereof brought forth wild fruit. And because I plucked not the branches thereof, and cast them into the fire, behold, they have overcome the good branch, that it hath withered away. See, and this is why we need to cut those things off that are not helping us, right? If they're not serving us, cut them off. And now behold, I'm not talking about being mean at all, that's for sure. And now behold, notwithstanding all the care which we have taken of my vineyard, the trees thereof have become corrupted, that they bring forth no good fruit. And these I had hoped to preserve, to have laid up fruit thereof against the season unto mine own self. But behold, they have become like unto the wild olive tree, and they are of no worth, but to be hewn down and cast into the fire. And it grieveth me that I should lose them. Well, yeah, because of the hard work, right? But what could I have done more in my vineyard? Have I slackened mine hand that I have not nourished it? Nay, I have nourished it, and have digged about it, and I have pruned it, and I have dunged it, and I have stretched forth mine hand almost all the day long, and the end draweth nigh, and it grieveth me that I should hewn down all the trees of my vineyard, and cast them into the fire, that they should be burned. Who is it that has corrupted my vineyard? Who is it? It's from the inside. It's an inside job. And it came to pass that the servant said unto his master, It is not the loftiness of thy vineyard. Have not the branches thereof overcome the roots which are good? And because the branches have overcome the roots thereof, behold, they grew faster than the strength of the roots, taking strength unto themselves. Behold, I say, is not this the cause that the trees of thy vineyard have become corrupted? And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard said unto the servant, Let us go down and hew down the trees of the vineyard and cast them into the fire, that they shall not cumber the ground of my vineyard. For I have done all. What could I have done more for my vineyard? But behold, the servant said unto the Lord of the vineyard, Spare it a little longer. Right? This is the part where I'm like, oh, the world is corrupt, and I make mistakes, but maybe just give us a little bit more time. I promise it'll be worth the wait, right? We'll be able to gather more. We'll be able to do better. We'll be able to serve more. Okay, so now let's highlight these in the blue. This always stood out to me because it's like, we have so much faith in humanity and doing good that we always ask for a little bit more time, right? But there's so many people already that are asking for the Lord to come. And so then it's like just a few people don't want the Lord to come so that we'll have more time. And I guess I say take your time, right? Because I'm such a procrastinator, and it's like I'm still not the person that I want to be. If the Lord came tomorrow, holy smokes, I would be filled with regret, right? But if the Lord came in like a year, maybe then I'll be better. I don't know. Like, that's just what's weird. Like, what is keeping me from being the best version of myself right now, and being happy with it? Remember this shielded stillness prompt that we just picked up for today? It says, where are you asking me to show up with more courage? Where can I show up with more courage, right? Where have I shown up without courage that I can show up with more courage? Because clearly, if I can show up with courage, then I'll be able to do things that I wouldn't normally be courageous enough to do. And then when the Lord comes, I'll actually be proud of the person and the efforts that I have given, instead of being filled with regret, right? And the Lord said, Yea, I will spare it a little longer, for it grieveth me that I should lose the trees of my vineyard. See, that makes sense. Wherefore, let us take of the branches of these which I have planted in the nethermost parts of my vineyard, and let us graft them into the tree from whence they came. And let us pluck from the tree those branches whose fruit is most bitter, and graft in the natural branches of the tree in the stead thereof. And this will I do, that the tree may not perish, that perhaps I may preserve unto myself the roots thereof for mine own purpose. And behold, the roots of the natural branches of the tree which I planted whithersoever I would are yet alive. Wherefore, that I may preserve them also for mine own purpose, I will take of the branches of this tree, and I will graft them in unto them. Yea, I will graft in unto them the branches of their mother tree, that I may preserve the roots also unto mine own self, that when they shall be sufficiently strong, perhaps they may bring forth good fruit unto me, and it may yet have glory in the fruit of my vineyard. And it came to pass that they took from the natural tree which had become wild, and grafted it in unto the natural tree which also had become wild. And they also took of the natural trees which had become wild, and grafted it into their mother tree. And the Lord of the vineyard said unto the servant, pluck not the wild branches from the trees, save it be those which are most bitter, and in them ye shall graft according to that which I have said. Okay. So let's just highlight these two things. Okay. And here we go. And we will nourish again the trees of the vineyard, and we will trim up the branches thereof, and we will pluck them from the trees, those branches which are ripened that must perish, and cast them into the fire. And this I do, that perhaps the roots thereof may take strength because of the goodness, and because of the change of the branches, that the good may overcome the evil. You have to put more good than evil, so that the good overcomes the evil. Oh, excuse me. You can't. It's not going to work if we mix more evil than good, right? And because that I have preserved the natural branches and the roots thereof, and that I have grafted in the natural branches again into their mother tree, and have preserved the roots of their mother tree, that perhaps the trees of my vineyard may bring forth again good fruit, and that I may have joy again in the fruit of my vineyard, and perhaps that I may rejoice exceedingly that I have preserved the roots and the branches of the first fruit. Wherefore, go to and call servants, that we may labor diligently with our might in the vineyard, that we may prepare the way, that I may bring forth again the natural fruit, which natural fruit is good, and the most precious above all other fruit. Wherefore, let us go and labor with our might this last time, for behold, the end draweth nigh, and this is for the last time that I shall prune my vineyard. Graft in the branches, begin at the last, that they may be first, and that this was going to be a good verse. Okay, let's start over. Graft in the branches, begin at the last, that they may be first, and that the first may be last, and dig about the trees, both old and young, and first and the first and the last, and the last and the first, that all may be nourished once again for the last time. Wherefore, dig about them, and prune them, and dung them, and once more for the last time, for the end draweth nigh. And if it be so, that these last grafts shall grow, and bring forth the natural fruit, then shall ye prepare the way for them, that they may grow. And as they begin to grow, ye shall clear away the branches which bring forth bitter fruit, according to the strength of the good and the size thereof. And ye shall not clear away the bad thereof all at once, lest the roots thereof should be too strong for the graft, and the graft therefore thereof shall perish, and I lose the trees of my vineyard. And it takes time, right, to grow trees. So it makes sense that he's really reluctant about it. Oh, excuse me. For it grieveth me that I should lose the trees of my vineyard. Wherefore ye shall clear away the bad, according as the good shall grow. that the root and the top may be equal in strength, until the good shall overcome the bad, and the bad be hewn down and cast into the fire, that they cumber not the ground of my vineyard. And thus will I sweep away the bad out of my vineyard, and the branches of the natural tree will I graft in again unto the natural tree. And the branches of the natural tree will I graft into the natural branches of the tree, and thus will I bring them together again, that they shall bring forth the natural fruit, that they shall be one. And you know what? I'm not reading on screen here. And the bad shall be cast away, yea, even out of the land of my vineyard. For behold, only this once will I prune my vineyard. And it came to pass that the Lord of the vineyard sent his servant, and the servant went and did as the Lord had commanded him, and brought other servants, and they were few. And the Lord of the vineyard said unto them, Go to and labor in the vineyard with your might. For behold, this is the last time, for I shall nourish my vineyard. For the end is nigh at hand, and the season speedily cometh. And if ye labor with your might with me, ye shall have joy in the fruit which I lay up unto myself against the time which will soon come. So what is he saying? We're going to be satisfied with our work if we just trust the Lord and obey his words, right? We're going to feel that joy from life. We're not going to feel that regret. And it came to pass that the servants did go and labor with their mights, and the Lord of the vineyard labored with them, and they did obey the commandments of the Lord of the vineyard in all things. And there began to be the natural fruit again in the vineyard, and the natural branches being grieved. And the natural branches began to grow and thrive exceedingly, and the wild branches began to be plucked off and be cast out, and be cast away. And they did keep the root and the top thereof equal according to the strength thereof. And thus they labored with all diligence according to the commandments of the Lord of the vineyard. Oops. Even until the bad had been cast away out of the vineyard, and the Lord had preserved unto himself that the trees had become again the natural fruit, and they became like unto one body, and the fruits were equal. And the Lord of the vineyard had preserved unto himself the natural fruit, which was the most precious unto him from the beginning. And it came to pass that when the Lord of the vineyard saw that his fruit was good, and that his vineyard was no more corrupt, he called up his servants and said unto them, Behold, for this last time have we nourished my vineyard, and thou beholdest that I have done according to my will, and I have preserved the natural fruit, that it is good, even like as it was in the beginning. And blessed art thou, for because ye have been diligent in laboring with me in the vineyard, I have kept my commandments, and have kept my commandments, and have brought unto me again the natural fruit, that my vineyard is no more corrupted, and the bad is cast away. Behold, ye shall have a cast away. Behold, ye shall have joy with me because of the fruit of my vineyard. For behold, for a long time will I lay up of the fruit of my servant, or of my vineyard, unto mine own self against the season which speedily cometh. And for the last time have I nourished my vineyard, and pruned it, and dug about it, and dunged it. Wherefore I will lay up unto mine own self of the fruit for a long time, according to that which I have spoken. And when the time cometh that evil fruit shall again come into my vineyard, then will I cause the blood and the bad to be gathered, and the good will I will preserve unto myself, and the bad will I cast away unto its own place. And then cometh the season, and then cometh the season, and the end, and my vineyard will I cause to be burned with fire. Okay. Whew. Oh, we were getting sleepy there. So now we're going to highlight these mentions of Christ. I love that it said that they grafted in the natural branches, meaning like the natural tendencies. But like to me, natural means like wholesome, like what we, instead of those human tendencies, it's the natural ones. I think like the ones from home, right? It's like those things, like it's going to help us. Things from home are going to strengthen us. And home, this is not our home. We are spiritual beings having a physical experience. And so okay. Oh, I saw the word. Okay. Now we're going to do our Book of Mormon page titles. And oh, I think we forgot to do it on, no, we did not forget to do it on chapter 5. Okay, so chapter 5, page 126. What does it say? Allegory of the olive tree. We're just going to write allegory of the olive tree 5 times, I guess. Did you know that President Holland highlights a new set of scriptures every year? I know, right? The olive tree. Falling asleep here. Woo! Okay, so now we're going to be on page 130. 130 still says allegory of the olive tree, allegory of the olive tree. Okay. How can we make our camera super shaky? Just write something. Okay. Now, page 132, Israel. Okay. Israel will be recovered in the last days. Okay. The worst handwriting right there because I started falling asleep. Okay. Until Jacob chapter 6. Stay strong, warrior.